Warriors! What are the banks actually doing? Well, let's hear from them themselves. My name is Coach JV. I am the top health and mindset coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hand. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. And what we're going to break down today is, what are the banks actually doing? We want to hear it from the horse's mouth. So this is what we do: 8 to 9 hours of research a day. We watch a lot of boring videos to narrow it down to the videos that will make the biggest impact on you. So that's what our team does, our research team. And we make sure that we bring you stuff that's valuable information. We know you have very, very busy days out there. Our Warrior Academy is all about providing freedom to people, not only financially, spiritually, mentally. So we do the work for you to bring it to you on a daily basis. Now, this video is going to go a little bit longer. So this is for the true warrior, the warrior who really wants to understand what's going on in the banking system. This shit is really, really boring, warriors. But I want you to hear what she says, and I want you to listen to the key words. And then I'm going to take you through the Ripple and XRP ledger, and I'm going to show you a couple different breakdowns of what I believe banks are going to do. Now, a lot of people have asked me, are you just in XRP? Absolutely not. That would be foolish to have all your eggs in one basket. So I'm a big fan of XRP, of course, but I also hold equal bags of XLM, VeChain, Ethereum, many broad. Basically, now I have 21 cryptocurrencies across a broad portfolio of NFTs, decentralized finance, and cryptocurrencies. If XRP went to zero, and it's not going to go to zero, but my point behind this is, you can't just ride on one horse. You got to make sure you have a horse pulling the buggy along, right? But I know a lot about the banking system. So there's a lot of different opinions on XRP, and every single opinion is a perception of the reality. None of us really truly know what the Wizard of Oz is going to do. But what we're going to do is, we're going to listen to the sentiment from these people, listen to the key words of who these people are. These are high level people in the banking system, and this is what banks are doing with blockchain. Now, the interesting thing to look at, warriors, is there's only 111 people that have watched this. How many people watched the Watt video? Just do me a favor. Go watch the Watt video, and go see how many people have watched the Watt video. Go see how many people watched the Mayweather and the, what was his name, Logan Paul or whatever, a YouTuber fighting a world-class fighter. That's what we're focused on, warriors, and they know they got you trapped. So let's go ahead and watch this, and we're going to break it down and narrate this. It's going to be a longer video, but bear with me.
You come from a securities background, working for many years at JP Morgan Chase. And I wondered if, as you look at the securities industry and different products and use cases that blockchain technology and distributed ledgers can support, what are some of the drivers in business that you see to push for adoption in the industry?
I think where I would start is perhaps take a step back and think first of all about what are the business problems.
So she's Blythe Masters, Chief Executive Officer, so CEO of Digital Asset Holdings. She also worked for Chase in the past.
That, in principle, this new breed of technology can solve. Because rather often when you're talking about this subject, it feels a little bit as though people are in desperate search of use cases to fit the technology. And those of you that really use technology for a living know that it really should be the other way around. So you define a business problem. Hopefully you can find a technology that can solve that business problem, subject to whatever the parameters or constraints are that you should reasonably put upon it.
Okay, so she talked about you need to find the technology that will solve the business problem, right? Not the other way around. Now, one thing I want you to think about is a narrative I've been helping you guys with around banks, liquidity, and capital.
And that's certainly the approach the company that I'm responsible for has tried to take, and that's probably somewhat influenced by the fact that I come from almost 30 years in the financial services industry myself, and couldn't code to save my life. So I started with the financial problems rather than the technology, not the other way around. Thinking about where the financial services industry is positioned, I think the things that jump out to anyone, and if you go talk to anyone in the C-suite of your average financial institution, whether
and just, C-suite is the upper CEO leadership, the big dogs. So they're not telling you what's going on, but that's the C-suite.
It's a bank or elsewhere in the ecosystem. What you're going to hear about is a depressed revenue environment caused by low rates, low credit spreads, bad volatility, as in the kind that comes with less liquidity rather than the kind that prompts more activity.
She just basically explained what I've been telling you. Liquidity, you not have as much capital because there's low interest rate environment that messes with your margins and making profit in banking. Listen closely, warriors.
Some of the good old-fashioned things that were fun, like proprietary trading and principal investing, have either become illegal or gone out of fashion, or both. Added to that, you have a very high and rising cost environment, a lot of which is driven by the cost of regulatory compliance. And you have an exponentially high and rising capital requirement environment with no, as of yet, defined end in sight.
Okay, so capital requirement environment. Now we're talking, this could be going into Basel III. I could be off on this one. You can comment down below if you understand this better. But Basel III, right? Gold's moving from a tier 3 asset to a tier 1 asset. You need more gold on hand to have riskier assets. We are squeezing the living shit out of banks.
You add that all up, and what you get is a challenged ROE picture, return on equity picture, and an industry that is systematically, and I would say structurally, returning returns on equity that are lower than most institutions' marginal cost of raising new capital. And that, on a sustained or structural basis, is an existential threat. So
the existential threat is fintech, financial technology. We are becoming the ecosystem and our own banks.
In that context that I think this technology has become as interesting as it is, because there's an enormous need. So things that used to be vigorously protected as proprietary special source and areas of competitive differentiation are now regarded as millstones to be cut off of one's neck, if at all possible. And what blockchain technology, as modified by financial institutions at least, offers is actually something very, very simple. That is, in essence, one of the first times in modern financial history where distinct, potentially competing and independent financial entities are able to mutualize data infrastructure. You've seen a lot of efforts in recent years around creating industry utilities to share certain burdens, but they've been somewhat limited in terms of the ability to actually share responsibility for ownership, processing, management of highly sensitive financial information.
Okay, so this is a key factor, highly sensitive financial information. They need to work with the company if they're going to bring in the private and public sector together, a company that is certified, right? That has security, right? You can't just bring some rinky-dink company in that doesn't have security protocols to have your banking infrastructure run across. Now remember the SWIFT system, I think it's 16%, don't quote me on this, but 16% has faulted or defaulted or been hacked.
Really, after you move away from the hype and the excitement about cryptocurrencies and bitcoins and all of the challenges that anonymous exchanges of value over the internet naturally raise for financial supervisors and the like, blockchain technology is in fact really just a better form of database technology than we have traditionally in our industry operated using. And what it means is that there is now an opportunity, if the technology lives up to its promise, to allow independent firms to share and mutualize a common or golden source of mutually important information, and to do that responsibly, meaning in compliance with the law, their fiduciary responsibilities, and with a high degree of certainty that privacy of highly sensitive financial information, both positions and contractual information, will be preserved. And that sounds pretty simple, and in fact, the implications of it are very simple. You get to share enormous cost burdens, speed up processes today that are error-prone and slow, with the result that you can also free up some capital along the way.
Boom. What did she just say? Processes that are slow, speed it up. Also free up capital. What does XRP do? Frees up capital, provides liquidity, and speeds up transactions.
And this in an industry that's faced with an existential performance threat, that's pretty compelling. Turns out it's actually not that easy of a technology problem to solve. And the ingenuity of the blockchain revolution, if that's what you want to call it, is really just that, a security environment that uses cryptography to allow independent entities to identify themselves and each other, as opposed, incidentally, to operating anonymously, and to authenticate transactions so that they can share a common record of those transactions, which means they don't need to any longer keep their own separate database of the same information, but in fact can rely on a single or common record. And that means that you can eradicate the layers of inefficient post-trade reconciliation, the post-trade manufacturing process that costs tens of billions of dollars a year for the industry and actually adds precisely zero value.
So important what she just said, Wars. I know this stuff is not super exciting. This is like candy to me, but she was literally talking about these infrastructures of blockchain are going to free up so much capital for the banks. And where's that capital going to go into? Creating custody for cryptocurrency, customer service, marketing, right? These are things that you need to do. In order to grow a company, you have to have leadership and capital. You can have the best product in the world. If you don't have good leadership and capital, you're screwed.
Wouldn't be necessary if you were able to rely on one accurate source of information. In a nutshell, that's what this is all about. Now, what would you apply that to in financial services? Well, everything. The question is, what would you apply it to first, as opposed to ultimately? Because ultimately, there isn't really a financial activity that wouldn't benefit from those kind of efficiency gains in processing. But the key question is, how do you get started? Because there's a network effect. So
this is really important. People are saying there's going to be a financial flip switch. We're not even close, Warriors. You have to understand, this is 2021. She's saying this. The banks are not even close to being ready. That's why I'm helping my Warriors understand we're going to build that generational wealth, dollar cost averaging through to 2025, having an exit plan in this market so you can pull out some profits to start to build that portfolio, a stronger portfolio, which you have access to in our Warrior Academy.
But anything that involves sharing means people need to share it. Everybody has to get religion at the same time, go to the same church in order to get the benefit of that all working out for everybody.
Did you hear what she just said? We got to watch that. Listen to that one more time.
Processing. But the key question is, how do you get started? Because there's a network effect required. Anything that involves sharing means people need to share it. Everybody has to get religion at the same time, go to the same church in order to get the benefit of that all working out for everybody.
Boom. Okay, so I'll spare you the rest of the video. It's a long video. I watched it incessantly, was looking for cues and clues. There's so many in that video. You can find that at IIF, Banking and Blockchain. Okay, so what does XRP do? It's real-time cross-border payments for banks, right? Enables real-time cross-border payments across 55 countries. The benefits for bank joining RippleNet, which is run across XRP, is new revenue, lower cost, consistent experience, and one integration point. Think about that. Exactly what she's talking about, right? And I'm not just talking about XRP. You have other protocols that can do the same thing. It's just important to understand that they need to find the public and private sector coming together in order to survive this new quantum financial system. So this is important too. I've shared this with you guys. RippleNet is now SOC2 certified. So in May 2020, McKinsey identified both the consumer enterprise digital adoption had matured 5 years in a matter of 8 weeks for financial institutions. Digital technology, including cloud-based models, offer flexibility, scalability required to meet the demands of the digitally advanced. Okay, so this is important. RippleNet products suite ensures the highest standard in safety, security, and privacy. As a testament to this, it's been awarded the sought-after System and Organization Controls 2 SOC2 certification. The SOC2 as a set of reports carried out by the independent CPA to certify excellence in security and privacy. What was she talking about? SOC2 reports offered valuable information with regard to the organization's security capabilities so users can access risk and be confident in the services provided by the certified provider. Okay, this means financial institutions, particularly banks who typically utilize legacy software, planning to adopt RippleNet Cloud, can do so with confidence that Ripple has certified seal approval when it comes to meeting modern security and privacy needs. Okay, so we go here. So a couple things. I didn't go deep into this. She talked about Hyperledger, R3. We just didn't have enough time to watch it all. So she talked about Hyperledger. She talked about R3, and they go deep into that. So I'd highly recommend you go watch the video. Ripple joins Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium. Distributed ledger startup Ripple has joined the Linux Foundation-backed Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium. Okay. She talks about R3, big time in there. Ripple partner SBI Holdings begins using R3 blockchain. Ripple partner SBI Holdings has begun using R3 blockchain technology, margin trading, according to the report by Japanese outlet PR Times. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because I've been sharing this with you guys. I don't want you to get caught up in being a maximalist in one thing, right? Not a Bitcoin maximalist, XRP maximalist, not, ADA. It's about understanding that we all need to work together in this quantum financial system to build generational wealth, but also bring in a new economic system. So look at it this way. You are part of history in the making, but this is a great look at the, somebody corrected me on this, ISO. Hopefully I said that correctly. Correct me if I was saying it incorrectly. ISO 2022 ecosystem. But take a look at this. She talked about in this video, they talk about IBM. They talk about Hyperledger. They talk about R3. Okay. They talk about the old archaic system. They talk about interledger protocols. So all these things they talked about, these are all working together, warriors. Just like you have an iPhone, you have a Samsung, you have different internet providers. You're going to have all these different providers working together. Okay, you got the ISO 20022 working together with XLM. You have Algorand. You have R3. You have Ripple, runs on the Interledger protocol, which is XRP, which was talked about heavily within there. So this is important to understand, whereas I just wanted to bring you this information so that you can make informed decisions in the quantum financial system. We know that the freight train has left the building, as Rosie Rios said, right? We have to ask ourselves, why would somebody who's part of the Treasury or left the Treasury risk their illustrious career of signing the bills in the Treasury and saying that is the last denomination of $100 bills as she brings in a new economic system? Right? Why would she join the board of directors for Ripple? Now, again, I'm not trying to sell you on Ripple XRP. What I'm working on is teaching you the economic system that we're heading into and that you have the opportunity of a lifetime right now. Now, I'll share with you, you can't have weak hands getting into this space because it's very volatile, because here's how it works. First, they resist it. Then they sue it. Then they regulate it, and then they join it. You're right in the middle. You're in regulation and suing right now. You're in the really uncomfortable space. And this is where they shake the living shit out of the weak investors. And so you have to have diamond hands and you have to know what you're invested in. So learn the cryptocurrency space, learn blockchain, find something you love in the blockchain space, and then fall in love with it and invest in that. Make sure you have a portfolio that spans across different cryptocurrencies, but we can help you with that. Whereas I give you access to my exact portfolio, not a financial advisor, not financial advice. I just show you what I'm doing. Here's my portfolio. If it changes, I update the warriors. We also have access to my exact exit strategy, my 50% exit plan. You can fill out your own spreadsheet and practice your own exit plan. We also have a cryptocurrency Discord with over 1,500 warriors working together. You get automatic YouTube updates. You get news updates. I actually do a weekly breakdown of all the news in the cryptocurrency space, updated news that I just started doing that gets sent out to my warriors in a PDF where you can click on all the documents so you're up to date all the time. What we've done is we've helped you put blinders on so you can come right here and stay focused with a team of people helping you. We also have a cryptocurrency team helping answer questions within the quantum financial system. We're not financial advisors. We also, on bonus, we have a 120-day challenge teaching you discipline, subconscious mind programming, goal setting, vision board creation, and how to really plan out your life so you can live the life you've always deserved. So if you click the link, description down below, in the description down below, it's 90% off. You click, you can join our Warrior Academy, and there's no risk to you at all. Money back guarantee. It's a mutual value exchange. This is a mission, not a business, to help as many people as possible gain freedom. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And we always say, Warriors, rise. Let's go.